Okay, all right. After you've played around with this plate here, getting it bolted as close to the center of the engine, or at least where you think the center line of the engine is, to keep it kind of halfway correct in weight distribution, you bolt that on, and then, where did it go? Did it go? Oh, there it is. Then it's time for the engine stand. Bear with me. Yes, the first time I did this, I did not frame out that plate. Rather, I attempted to bolt the engine to the plate after the plate installed in the stand. That was being dumb. That's not how it's supposed to work. You bolt the plate on there, and you just slip it into that stand, right there, okay? That little pipe there gets inserted right there, but you want to have that already bolted up before you start. So let's see if we can do this without any drama. Woo, hot. Usually what I do here is I just get this a little bit higher than it has to be, and then you lift up the engine stand, you know, and then slip it over rather than trying to like slide the engine, you know, at the perfect fit. That'll never happen. Just up a good high. I think it's your standard 1,000-pound or 750-pound or whatever Harbor Freight engine stand. It's the upgraded one. It's not the bottom of the bucket, you know, the bottom of the barrel one. So it only costs like 20 bucks more, and I think it's at least 250 pounds higher rating. Am I there yet? No. I'm watching grass grow, right? Yeah, with electric brakes. Wouldn't that be fun? Watch them crack the block or bend the pan and do some tremendous amount of damage. Okay, let's see how close we are. Oh, perfect. So you just take this, lift him up, install. There's supposed to be some little pin. I don't know what happened to that a long time ago. Oops. I just use this thing. I don't know what this is. But, you know, keeps the engine from rotating is the idea. Slowly. Take it away. Everything looks solid? Yeah, okay. Fabuloso. So what we do now, we're going to hook all this goodness. Sorry you can't see it. Get out of the way. I didn't get up that heat shield too much. I'm taking that down. Never happened. Here. There, let's fix that heat shield real quick. Ready? Okay, let's not stay with you. And there you have it. One Turbo L28ET on the stand, ready to get started on the refill process. And the first thing I'm going to do is, first of all, I have to acquire a charge pipe. Yes, I have already got the charge pipe on the way. So it's basically a charge pipe that takes the turbo compressed air. The turbocharger is right here, and the compressed air comes out there. So I've got a charge pipe on the way that'll take the turbo air from here, wrap around J's into the input. It's not going to be intercooled or anything like that. I'm not going to be running any more than probably about 7 or 8 pounds of boost max, which is what this thing was designed for. But that's a whole other story. So we're getting that on the way. And like I said, the very first order of business, that engine kind of shifted over a little bit. Let me see something here. I think it might have shifted on its own. No, okay, that's all right. The very first order of business is going to be to take the intake manifold off. Everything's going to come off here. I've got at least one bolt broken here. Usually they break here and on the other extreme end of the exhaust manifold. It's just, I think it's a heat cycling issue. There's a couple of fixes. One is you just, maybe I can get a weld on it and take it out. If I can't, let's see where it's broken. Oh, I don't think it's even broken off. I think it's just not in there. Oh, maybe we got lucky. Maybe it's not broken off. I just need to put a bolt in. But if it is broken off, you can tap them out and put a larger bolt so it's not as likely to break. That's one fix. So take all that off. We'll do a pressure wash of the engine. I'll do a video of that. And then we will evaluate it. We'll just kind of take a step back, take the valve cover off. Hope there's no, stuck bolts here. If there are, I'll use heat, get them out. I don't want to break the bolt off inside the head or anything weird like that. Get the valve cover off, get the pan off, look it over, see if anything looks funky, If it looks all good to go, then we go back to what I was talking about before, where I use maybe the NA intake and exhaust bolted on. It's real easy to do that, by the way. I mean, it's literally like, I think there's like 8 bolts total. You would just 4 of them you take out, and 4 of them you just loosen, and this whole assembly just kind of pulls right off, exposing the whole side of the head. It's not a cross flow, it's a reverse flow. So you have an intake and exhaust on the same side. So they come out on the same side of the engine. One gasket does it all, put it back in, good to go. May go that route. The other thing I probably would want to do is, I've got the guy I got it from gave me a flywheel to go with it, so I'm going to install a flywheel and a starter. I'll probably just pull the starter off that engine over there because I don't have a spare starter. Put the starter on there, put the flywheel on it, do a compression test. Pump it up and see how it does. I've already done a leak down test and it tested great, like 95%, I got a 5% leak, so that's really good. So we'll take up the compression check, see how it is. Maybe that'll be fine. If we're lucky, that'll be good. I mean, it should. The rings, it wasn't leaking anything, so assuming it's pretty well sealed up engine. We'll do that. Compression test, spin it. Oh, the other thing I want to do is, I'm curious about how the oiling system works. So what I do a lot of times, I take all the spark plugs out and just, spin it. Or you can't even just take the front cover off and pull the little the gear on the front that drives the distributor and the pump. Take the gear off, and then you just drive it through the distributor, put a drill on it, and spin that pump shaft and pump oil through it. I'm curious about how well the turbo oiling situation is and all other kind of stuff. Or like I said, I might just leave the spark plugs out. Don't worry about disconnecting the gear for the distributor, and just spin the thing and with the starter rather than through the distributor, the shaft that drives the pump. Spin the engine over and see how long. That's what I did when I did this one. If you recall, I checked the oil pressure on this in the same way. See how long it takes for the oil pressure to come up. Look for oil come out of the turbo oil feed. I haven't looked at the turbo too well. I don't know how worn it is. I may get it rebuilt. I may buy a rebuild kit, or I may just buy a generic turbo to stick on there if I can find one that has a correct fit, form fit function type of a deal. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But so there's a lot to do. Oh, the other thing is, of course, the injectors are usually the wild card. These injectors, God knows when the last time they saw fuel in them, or in what kind of fuel. So I'll have to obviously check the flow characteristics of the injectors. That's a relatively simple thing. You just put some pressurized cleaner in there, usually like a carb cleaner, and then you hit this with a current limited voltage, like a 9-volt battery. You can't flow too much current with a standard 9-volt battery. And you know, first of all, you should hear them clicking, and also when they do open, when you energize it with the battery, you should see a decent spray pattern coming out. If that's not happening, I'll have to decide my options. You know, these should be turbo higher than normal flow injectors, which I don't have any extras of. I may very well take them down to a marine place and get them to clean them. You know, they have a ultrasonic cleaning and all that kind of goodness to really clean the crud out of them. So I may go down that route too. There's a lot to do. But anyway, I just wanted you to see. Oh, let's get it away from the thing so you can see it in all its glory here. I know, probably. That's out of the way. Cherry picker out of the way. And this is hooked up, that's good. I've got a handle for this thing somewhere. I don't know where it is right now. I'll have to look for that. To spin the engine, you put a handle through here and you can rotate it. But now, as you can see, it's semi-portable. The other side. Okay, so here's the water inlet. That should be a block off. Huh. It's not blocked off. I need to get a block off for that, which I have. Pretty sure I have. I think I have. If I don't, that's easy to get. You need to block that off. Needs a water pump. Got a distributor on it. Probably that's a hard to get distributor. I think it has a, you know, like a crank position sensor built into that distributor, which is not normal for Zs. I don't know what that is. Oh, this is the cooler for the injectors. I wouldn't mind installing this on my Z, because one of the problems you have with Z engines is the fuel gets boiled out of the fuel rails. When you drive hard and come to a quick stop, all the underhood heat rapidly boils off the gas and the rails. It's on hot days, and when you go to restart, it chugs and doesn't like it. It takes a while for the fuel to get all the way through the rails and fully, you know, saturate the fuel. So this was a fix that came out on the ZX models, where it blows cold air directly onto the injectors through this little turbo housing thing. It's kind of cool. Here's the, let's see this right here. There's the oil supply feed. It comes right here for the turbo. Like I said, this is the inlet. The outlet, of course, is over here. Is it missing? Yeah, I don't know if that's a through hole or that may not be tapped right there on that thermostat. I'm not sure about that. Not sure what's going on there. That's going to be a, I'm not sure what that is. That's probably for the temperature gauge for the thermostat. I mean, not for a thermostat, for the, you know, the gauge in the car. I don't see a lot of, oh, here we go. That's probably okay, this is probably the temp sensor for the ECU down here. This is probably either a switch or another for some purpose, or for the gauge, for the temperature gauge. I don't know. Anyway, I got plenty of houses. I cornered the market on thermostat housings for these some time ago. The AFM plugs in right here, goes into the compressor, comes out. There's a J tube, which I have on the way. I think I already said that. Goes in here, pressurizes the system. You got boost. Okay, guys. Well, that's it. It's on the stand. Oh, I'm going to lose this too. I got this triple rung damper here, a crank damper, pulley. I'm going to get rid of that. I have another damper that I can use. I don't like this third pulley. There's absolutely no use for it, and it's just more weight and more garbage you get in the way. So that's gone. I'll probably leave the other one, because you have one for the compressor for the air conditioner and one's for the alternator drive. The compressor's on the inside, the alternator's this one, and this is for the power steering. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed installment 2 of the L28 Turbo.